Okay. What's up, guys? I meant to do the intro, but I kind of forgot. Um, but let's see. We don't have anybody here yet, it looks like. But hopefully we get more people here. Oh, there's Bill Hicks. How you doing? You doing, cool guy? Yeah. I guess I'm a little bit of a tired biscuit. I forgot to do the intro, but whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as we have a nice show, a fun time, and everything. So I thought everybody was gonna maybe stick around and stream with me, but I guess Two Guns probably went to bed. He normally goes to bed around this time or earlier than this, I think. Red Eye went to go do some chores, so he might be back soon to join us. That would be cool. And Cameron got tired, so he went to bed. So I'm not sure if anybody else is gonna join us, other than possibly cool guy Red Eye. But how are you doing, Bill Hicks? And whoever else is here with me so far, I don't know. So we're going to be bring Dingle on. Oh yeah, that'll be great. No, he needs to be a $10 patron, Bill, to get that. I'm pretty sure you're a patron, Bill. I was just looking at it. I forget if you're a $10 patron, but yeah, if you're a $10 patron, you can come and hang out on stream with me and stuff when we do these. But yep, that's Gene right there. Yeah, see, that does look like Gene. So, we're gonna watch this video here next. The craziest interrogation you'll ever see, is what it's titled here. There's a link in the description below if anybody wants to check out the original video, by Ewu, by Explore With Us here. They're a pretty good channel. But yeah, this is a pretty good video. And, probably the main thing that stuck out about this video that made me want to cover it was the nose picking. There's lots of nose picking in this video, and I like it. Okay, that's just me. All right, don't be kink shaming. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I do wish that I had a couple more people here with me for this. But hopefully we could still have a good time. Maybe Red Eye will be here soon if I'm lucky. So, I guess this disclaimer, it counts for me too, I guess. But everybody hit the like button for me if you haven't yet. Hit the cool guy thumbs up. I guess we'll take a dab real quick before we get this started. Also, what I'm going to do is, because we already got a bunch of tips today and stuff, and we're doing this extra episode, I'm going to pour some more whiskey and Coke. You knew it? Oh, dang. Yeah. Yeah, Gene's a crazy guy. Shouldn't be surprised by that. He's a crazy guy. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see, got a little stirring utensil here. Whiskey for the biscuit, yeah. Some whiskey biscuit stuff right there. All right. So, take a dab and stuff, and then we'll get started on this cool guy video. Has anybody here seen this video? Or heard about this case? It's always better when none of you guys heard about it. The more you guys that haven't heard about it, the better. 'Cause it's more interesting, right? I went through this a bit and stuff already, but as I go on doing these kinds of streams, I'm gonna try my best to keep them keep everything 100% new for me, so I experience it along with you guys for the first time. I learn about the case just as you're learning about it. So let's do a dab. I miss Red Eye. I miss him. I miss my Red Eye. So, did you guys enjoy the last stream? It was a pretty crazy story, the last one. Oh, I'm on another panel, Bill. Okay. Alright, here we go. I'm going to take a dab real quick before we get this started. Cheers, you guys. Okay. Alright, let's get this started.
I'm not demanding, I'm asking nicely. As a kind civilian that also knows how to manipulate cops.
This is 22-year-old Russell Jones. Just hours prior to the filming of this interrogation footage, he was arrested for helping a 15-year-old girl execute the brutal murder of her father.
Let's set our clock, shall we?
In approximately 3 seconds, you will witness an extreme shift in his demeanor.
You're listening in on my conversations, aren't you? Oh. So, we can do this the nice way, or we can do it the hard way, and I can release my bipolar. Let's make a deal. Do. 1.
So yeah, I already watched this myself. It'd be maybe I should have covered one that I never seen at all for this. That may have been a better pick, but I didn't know that there was no one else that was gonna be on here with me, at least for the start of this. But yeah, this guy's like, he obviously wants to like be the Joker or something. He's trying to play like he's the Joker.
Thanks for the food. 2, I see Ellie and Gavin because they are both under my protection. 3, before you release Ellie to her parents, or parent, do a background check as well as a DNA test, as well as, well, not DNA, a drug test. And if you find out that her parent, her mom, is in fact doing drugs, you are to release her to me. Tell him to release Gavin and Ellie. Thank you. And I know I'm being recorded. You can keep that on there. Unless you're a nice cop, then I take it back. But if you're one of those two-timing, donut-eating piece of crap that don't like rules, a high school bully with a badge, I'm sorry, buddy, but I eat high school bullies for breakfast. So, you want the whole story? Make a deal, or I let out my bipolar. Your choice.
See, the crazy way he's acting and stuff, it kind of feels as if it's not even a real, like, it feels almost like he's acting for a movie or something, like it's not even a real interrogation to happen, but this guy literally acted like this on an interrogation. It's crazy. Press the red button, yeah, that's probably for emergencies.
The following footage contains never-before-seen personal accounts of the suspects involved in this crime. Through in-depth interviews, we've obtained rare insight into the minds of 3 criminals who display behavior that is among the most
Nose picking, I told you guys.
disturbing we've
And eating it.
seen yet.
I can still twist your little mind.
Ellen Friar's murder was reportedly one of the most gruesome homicides Medford police had seen. The investigative team assigned to the case knew there was significant cause for concern just from viewing the crime scene alone. Erin's 2 youngest daughters, Sierra and Olivia, walked out of their bedroom the morning of October 2nd, 2017, to find the horrifying evidence of the crime. But their father was nowhere to be found. The 2, who were not yet in high school, called their father's girlfriend for help, and it was not long before the police were involved. Only a few hours later, investigators picked up and detained 3 young individuals, walking roadside a short distance from Erin's abandoned silver Mercury Marquis. His eldest daughter, 15-year-old Ellen Rose Friar, was part of the trio. Her 19-year-old boyfriend, Gavin Curtis McFarlane, and his longtime friend, 22-year-old Russell Pierce Jones, accompanied her.
What's your first name?
Mike
Okay. Mike what?
Smith.
Mike Smith? Okay.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like one of those weird names.
Mike Smith does sound like a very
Yeah.
common...
You sure it's not Russell?
Well, that is one of the names I know about it.
I haven't patted him down or anything. Go ahead.
I
Okay.
don't really have any weapons or anything.
Okay, well, that makes me feel a whole lot easier, all right?
Yeah.
Just go ahead and stand
I
here and
have
spread your
nothing
feet
to
real
hide.
quick.
I
There you
probably
go.
would be really stupid saying this,
Uh-huh.
but did you happen to notice my wrist at all?
Your wrists? What about them? I can
Well,
stick one.
the
Well,
thing
good.
is that I can dislocate my wrist.
Okay, don't do that, though, please.
Okay. You seem like a nice one. So
I
won't-
appreciate
I
it.
won't make it hard on you.
All right.
I only make it hard on the bad ones.
What? Dude, what a fucking weirdo. That was a bit blurry, but it looks like that was the same guy that we already saw in the beginning, acting like the Joker. So if you guys didn't catch it, the person that was murdered, his daughter is 15 years old. Her boyfriend, who is 19, was the other guy they showed there, the skinnier guy, and then his friend is the guy that's acting like the Joker here. So 15-year-old with a 19-year-old. That's this video will get to it, but that's what caused the issue to begin with. His dad wasn't okay with that, obviously. His 15-year-old daughter dating a 19-year-old.
She started my own protection business.
Did you?
Yeah.
What kind of protection?
I know it's kind of risky, but I work with people 20 and younger, legally considered a runaway type of age.
Okay, so you're going to protect, like, runaways?
They have to run away for some reason.
Yeah. So you provide protection for runaways and get them, like, a place to live?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a lot of places.
Ellen was a sophomore student at South Medford High School, Medford.
God, it's kind of weird how the interrogation kind of begins before they even get into the interrogation room a bit there. Like, although the cop's not as trained and everything, he's trying to get him to talk a bit there, obviously.
Oregon, and Gavin was a previous student who had dropped out a quarter before his graduation. Ellen would tell police that she met Gavin walking through South's hallways. According to Ellen, she reached out via Facebook Messenger and started a conversation that would evolve into a forbidden romance. She, only 15, was underage, and Gavin, 19, was her lover. Friends and family were appalled, but no one as much as Ellen's father. Aaron, in addition to Ellen's mother, Maggie, immediately set clear boundaries. She was no longer allowed to see Gavin. Characteristic to many teenagers who do not get their way, Ellen rebelled. She snuck out and lied to see him, secretly maintaining their bond. It was not long before Ellen's lies caught up to her, and Erin discovered that, instead of staying the night at a friend's as she'd been claiming, she was sleeping over at Gavin's. Erin, furious, stormed over to Gavin's house, pounded on his door, and threatened him, warning him not to come near his daughter again, or else. It was following this incident that the couple, in addition to Russell, who claimed to own a protection business, developed an insidious plan that reached far beyond sneaking out or running away, as is typical of many teenagers. They began to conspire to murder Ellen's father, who Ellen alleged had abused her. Although they initially intended to execute their plan after the new year, when Ellen would turn 16, Ellen began to claim the abuse was growing worse.
And I was not happy with the text.
And that's the one that talked about the abuse?
Yeah.
Okay.
And further, that she was pregnant with Gavin's child. This spurred a sense of urgency that drove them to act sooner rather than later. On the Saturday preceding the crime, when Ellen was absent attending a high school band event, Gavin and Russell attempted to break into her house through her bedroom window with murder in mind, messaging Ellen all the while. They quickly found that Erin's girlfriend was asleep in the room and ran off. Although the attempt drew attention and concern, the police were not involved at that point. Erin would pick his daughter up from the band event, take her and her siblings Halloween shopping, and treat them to Burger King the next day, and return to their home to watch a Sunday night movie. The events that followed the next morning were a tragic contrast to this seemingly wholesome day of family events. Gavin and Russell again arrived outside of Ellen's bedroom window in the early hours of that Monday morning. Ellen prompted Gavin to enter, and he obliged, while Russell remained outside in her yard. Over a period of an hour or so, Gavin and Ellen whimsically discussed their future, full of marriage and lifelong love. But this was only to pass time. They were waiting for Erin, who rested on the living room couch, to fall asleep. Eventually, they heard snoring, and Gavin began to make his way to the living room. His first attempt failed when he accidentally kicked a trash can. It was still dark. Erin woke up, Gavin retreated to the bedroom, and Ellen pretended that she had to use the restroom. Oblivious to his impending fate, Erin purportedly said to Ellen, "Stop scaring me with all these people breaking in lately." When the two heard his snoring once more, Ellen handed Gavin an aluminum baseball bat, something Erin had kept close by for protection, and told Gavin, "Take him out." After Gavin was finished, he sent Ellen a message informing her that it was done. Russell, who had stood outside with a machete for backup, entered the home at that point to assist with transporting Erin's body. Russell reported that he was shocked and that he immediately retreated to the bathroom, sickened by the scene of the crime. Erin's face, as shared by Russell, was scary. Due to the nature of Erin's fatal injuries, Gavin wrapped a towel around Erin's head and a blanket around his body. Russell, holding the blanket at Erin's feet, and Gavin, holding it at his head, carried his body out to Erin's own car and hoisted him into its trunk. Ellen was the last to re-enter her home. She stole money out of her recently murdered father's wallet, said goodbye to her sisters, who later told police they heard their father say a bad word when they were just waking up for school, and retrieved her dog before leaving. The trio proceeded to drive to Walmart while Erin's body remained in the trunk. Ellen used the money she had stolen to buy junk food and hair dye. Before leaving, they walked into an SSI building so that Russell, who was on disability for reasons we'll learn later, could retrieve money with Gavin serving as his rep payee. The following eerie footage captures these moments.
I need to drink a little bit more. But, yeah, what do you guys think so far? See, I don't have two guns and Red Eye here to say their opinion. It's messed up. It's messed up. Red Eye normally has sometimes good opinions, okay? Sometimes. Ditched him? No, he went to go.
They dumped Erin's
You talking about Red Eye? He went to go do some stuff, do some chores, and so he might be back soon.
Body off an embankment along the side of a road. Also, off the embankment alongside the road, they threw various incriminating pieces of trash and clothing articles. They ditched Aaron's car and walked away with plans of hiding low in an abandoned house and eventually retreating to California.
He dropped his body off on the side of like a pretty well-known road, man. Like some lady was like walking her dog and then found his body.
We interviewed dozens of friends and family who knew these suspects, and we found that almost all of them shared the same sentiment.
I spent like the whole year with her and Dan doing competitions and whatever. Someone pulled me aside.
Yeah, Bill Hicks. Yeah, the crazy part is just like, even people that are a little off and weird, like, I still don't look at them and be like, oh, they're murderers and stuff, or they're weirdos like that. And it's like, a lot of these people aren't even necessarily like weird. The last guy was, obviously, but still, it's like, and what I'm getting to is like, it's just anybody and everybody that you met could be like capable of doing such a crazy thing, and you just don't know it. I don't know, it's just crazy to think. It's also crazy to think that like this say this 15-year-old girl, we'll see how much she how much years she got in prison or whatever in the end. For this, I think she gets 25 or something like that. And it's like, it's crazy to think, like I was saying earlier, that, when she's like 40 years old or something around that age, she's going to be let back out of prison and let out on the streets again, and stuff. That's crazy to think, and the same goes for anybody else. I'm talking in general about like just people who did crazy stuff like this, and maybe they, I guess did it early enough on their life where they could go through prison and get out and still be young enough to be a capable person, still be able to do crazy stuff, still have, just crazy. His daughter had her boyfriend kill him while he slept. Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's messed up. Yeah, it's like, if I would have grown up going to school with this girl, I would have thought, oh, she's just some girl, and you never would think that she had it in her to do such a crazy thing. It makes sense, like, being a kid and hating your parents at some point because they're over controlling or something like that, but being able to take it that far is just crazy. It's just crazy. And then her boyfriend's a freaking sicko. He's murdering a guy over a girl. And then not only that, it's a girl who's only 15. He's a 19-year-old dude. And it's like, it's stupid too, because to me, it's so weird sometimes when you see these kind of things, because it's like, the dude ain't ugly. He's a decent looking dude. He can get chicks. Go get a chick your freaking age. Stop being a weirdo. What the hell? Like, it's funny because in this clip we watch her pick her nose, and it's like, yeah, that's the exact thing you'd expect from like a 15-year-old little girl or something, like doing some shit like that. They're little kids still. Like, fuck.
What happened with Ellen Friar, and I was like, no, I haven't heard anything. And literally a week or two previously, I had spoken to her and been around her.
It shocked me. It was a shock.
It was a little bit shattering. It was a murder, and a really kind of mysterious and gruesome one, and I don't think anybody was expecting that.
All signs aside, no one expected that this would happen.
Think about this. Your daughter's 15, 16. And she's with a grown-ass man doing drugs. I would tell him never talk to my daughter again. And it's like some Romeo and Juliet type. You know what I mean? They're not supposed to be together, but they want to be together.
Romeo and Juliet laws could be applied there because it's a 3-year age difference.
What is the Romeo and Juliet law?
So they do something drastic, And unfortunately, it was taking Aaron's life in such a messed up way.
they found like actual evidence of them planning to kill both Ellie's father and the other guy whose name I can't remember, his dad as well.
Who's your father?
Russell Jones Sr.
Oh. What's so bad about him?
His past, as well as my past, growing up with him over 22 years.
I know at the very least Gavin and Ellie were present when one or both of them beat Ellie's father to death with a baseball bat. They, then took his car with his body, dumped him not even that far away, I don't think, in a ditch. Were caught like not that long after in the car, I think, which is crazy. And Medford police always say it's one of the goriest scenes they've ever seen.
All factors involving these specific 3 individuals culminated with a deadly storm that ultimately led to Aaron's traumatic murder. This is the beginning of an end for Ellen Friar. She sits stiffly in an uncushioned chair. The walls are bare and narrowly enclosing. Experts designed this room to spur feelings of discomfort, isolation, and unfamiliarity. The interrogation has already begun. Throughout the following interrogations, we will analyze all forms of communication, forensic linguistics, and the complex relationship between suspects' criminal behavior and unique underlying psychology. Only hours previously, Ellen stood outside her home while Gavin murdered her father. After she wrings her hands and cracks her fingers one by one, she stares stoically at the camera. Her behavior is markedly inconsistent with the nature of her recent experiences. An important aspect of reading body language is observing individuals' baseline nonverbal cues, followed by clusters of nonverbal cues, which can occur consecutively or simultaneously. Comparing these in the framework of individual circumstances, including environment, is an additional critical consideration. Upon contemplating Ellen's nonverbal language, also note her paralanguage, or the language that she conveys through vocal tone, pitch, prosody, volume, etc. They may assist law enforcement in building criminal profiles, determining suspects' motivations, or even detecting deception. Ellen shows little to no arousal physiologically, behaviorally, or emotionally. Mark this as our first significant behavioral observation.
Yeah, so that's the interesting thing, is that if you met Ellie, she doesn't seem like the type of person that would hurt somebody. She really was a sweet and soft individual. I think that's what was so shaking about it, was that it didn't really make sense to me that someone like Ellie would do that. Didn't seem in her character at all.
She was really sweet. She was a really great person, so I was like, okay, I can be friends with this person.
She just seemed like a normal 15-year-old girl.
Many classmates knew Ellen as the girl who always raised her hand in class. She was accounted as intelligent, polite, and kind. But something that few could later explain lied dormant in Ellen, hiding amidst high school band trips, homecoming dances, and AP classes. Here, that something sits patiently and composed, waiting for an investigator in an empty interrogation room. The following interrogations have been analyzed by a qualified team, including 2 licensed attorneys, one being a former criminal prosecutor and a psychologist trainee.
Hi. Hello. Are you Ellen? No. What's your name? I have the right to remain silent.
Okay, you do have the right to remain
What? I never even seen that. What the fuck? I never seen that part. Holy shit. Oh my god. As soon as the chick comes in, I have the right to remain silent.
The investigative team on this case may have selected this specific investigator, Detective Stephanie Smith, to conduct Ellen's interrogation for tactical reasons. Police psychology experts outline that investigators with traits similar to suspects are more likely to succeed in building rapport and facilitating open, honest communication. This concept applies to the broader field of psychology as well. It may be used as a vehicle of manipulation to appear more likable, otherwise termed the liking similarity effect. Ellen is more likely to respond positively to a female who speaks softly than a male who speaks gruffly. Ellen immediately displays a high level of resistance. As the interrogation unfolds, Detective Smith will navigate each obstacle to open communication that Ellen throws her way.
Is that what you're choosing to do?
Yes.
Okay. I at least need to know your name now. You don't want to tell me your name?
Rain.
Rain?
Mark lying as our second notable behavior observation and display of resistance. Ellen's first word is a lie, and she lies about her name. Lying is a common exploitive tool. Compulsive lying or pathological lying is characterized by lying about subjects' surrounding identity as a means of control.
Okay, Rain, well, if you choose that you want to talk, I'm around, okay?
I would like to know why I'm in handcuffs and why I'm detained. I have the right to know.
Okay.
Ellen is angry. This reflects in her expression, which is a significant contrast between her flat disposition minutes previously. Her eyebrows are raised unusually high, and she holds them there as she asks the investigator with a childlike voice in an indignant, defiant tone why she is being detained.
Why am I being detained?
Her eye contact is unfaltering. Advanced situational awareness training would identify this behavioral cluster as indicating a need for dominance.
So we got a call of concern at your house today. Well, first I'm going to tell you all your rights.
My house.
I'm going to tell you all your rights, okay? And then I'm going to explain to you what's going on, and if you choose to talk after that, that's completely up to you.
This is a lesser-known rapport-building tactic that functions by reminding suspects they have some level of autonomy. Ellen appears to grow more receptive.
Okay.
Okay. You have the right to remain silent. So you said you want to remain silent.
Then I would like to know why I'm detained.
Okay. So we got a call of concern at your house today, and your little sisters are pretty scared about what happened there. And so what we're doing is trying to figure out what happened. And the police went to your house, and we're also a little bit worried about what's going on over there.
Detective Smith is vague that law enforcement is worried about what is going on over there, Ellen's house. At this point, she's trying to build rapport. This is a soft and indirect approach. Detective Smith wants Ellen to fill in the gaps.
I haven't been there all night.
Well, there are things that would indicate otherwise.
I gave you guys what you wanted. Normally, it would take about 24 hours to get missing persons report if there wasn't evidence of blood. Then, if the person's missing for a total of 48 hours, hence 48-hour mystery dumps, then you do your little search posse. By then, Gavin, me, and her would be in California.
And I'd like to talk to you about that, but with your wishing to remain silent, it's really difficult to kind of get to the bottom of all of that.
Then let's talk.
Okay. So what I want to do is make sure you understand what I told you about what your rights are, because that's super important, okay? So can we go through those one more time?
Yes.
Okay. So you have the right to remain silent. What does that mean to you?
Detective Smith reiterates the Miranda rights and asks Ellen to explain what each right means to make sure there is understanding. States often require this if suspects are 15 years of age or younger.
So this morning, your little sisters ran over to your mom's house and told your mom about something that worried them that they saw in your house, okay? And what that was a large amount of blood. And they described a few things that you had been doing at the house. Kind of the way you said goodbye, and that it worried them because they weren't sure if they were going to see you again, and they love you. And that really worried them a lot about where you were going and why you were leaving so quick, because they care about you and they love you.
She frames the story from Ellen's sister's perspective, describing how scared they were to appeal to Ellen's humanity, but Ellen seems relatively unaffected.
You know, do you love your sisters?
Yes.
And you care about kind of how they feel about you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anybody would. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, kind of, that's what we need to hash out, you know? What did your sisters see? Why are they worried?
Yeah, what did they see?
That's what I'm going to ask you.
Wow, that's really good acting. Yeah, what did they see? It's like she already got told that there was a bunch of blood everywhere and stuff. And now all of a sudden, it's like, oh, well, I'm curious. What did happen?
I don't have a clue.
Mm-hmm.
Ellen becomes abruptly animated. She raises her eyebrows sharply, and they linger there. Something about the expression seems off. It doesn't reach the rest of her face, indicating chirality, or match her verbal expression. This abnormal behavior further supports that Ellen struggles with issues of affect or apathy. Ellen's expression, whatever it is, does not appear normal. Ellen's ex-best friend, Jillian McFeeters, commented on Ellen's mental health to investigators, stating that Ellen had displayed signs of bipolar disorder.
The switch would go off sometimes, and I mean, it was not very long. It was just kind of a woo, and then it was gone, but...
This is a critical piece of information confirmed by someone who knew Ellen best. Ellen's mood fluctuations indicate that she suffers from heightened emotional reactivity and sensitivity in response to triggering stimuli. This contrasts with mood swings typical of bipolar disorder, which are not as transient.
You said that there was a large amount of blood. Is everybody okay?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
She's a really bad liar.
No.
No. What's the last grade you completed?
12.
You completed 12th grade?
Detective Smith begins to ask background questions to establish Ellen's behavioral baseline, or the behavior she normally displays when answering fact-based questions. Later in the interrogation, when she poses questions relevant to the crime, she will look for behaviors that diverge from Ellen's behavioral baseline when Ellen responds. We will expand on the formal technique of this concept later in the interrogations.
How old are you?
18.
Okay. All right. Where did you go to school?
South Medford High School.
When did you graduate?
Last year. Class of 2017. This year, sorry. Class of 2017. I graduated with an honors diploma.
That's exciting.
As we know, Ellen is lying when she answers most of these questions.
Wow. It's just full of lies. She's trying to, like, create another identity. She's saying a different name. She's saying she's a different age. She's saying she graduated and all that.
Because we know she's lying, we can see the way Ellen expresses herself non-verbally when she lies based on facts. 1. Ellen's tone drops and flattens, a notable deviation in her paralanguage.
Do you go to school?
No.
No. What's the last grade you completed?
12.
2. Her eyebrows raise. 3. This is a cluster of non-verbal indicators. Ellen looks up and to the right. She smiles, laughs as she answers, and then moves her hands apart.
When did you graduate?
Last year.
4. We can see another cluster when she corrects her lie with another lie. This time we can tell she's more flustered. She scrunches her face to the point that she closes her eyes. She false starts. We see her eyebrows drop dramatically. She rapidly shakes her head back and forth, and finally, she aggressively flicks her hair out of her face and tilts her head back. 5. Last, we see another eyebrow raise.
What kind of classes did you take?
AP.
AP what?
AP American Studies, AP Human Geography, AP Psychology, AP Biology.
Goodness.
Pretty much everything I could take.
Yeah. And I know you live with your sisters, because I know somebody else has talked with them today. I didn't talk to them. And who else do you live with?
Just them.
Ellen responds, just them, and she sounds more emotionally expressive. She may have a soft spot for her sisters. The investigator seems to think so, as she often includes them in her questioning.
And my mother.
Okay. Where do you live?
In the area. I don't know the exact address.
So you live with your sisters and your mom, and you graduated last year. Okay. And you were walking down the street, it sounds like, today?
Mhm.
Who were you with?
I was with my friends.
Okay. And I wasn't there, so I really don't know.
Yeah.
Who are your friends?
The 2 males that have also been detained.
Okay. Who are they to you?
They're friends.
Okay. What are their names?
I'm not going to give their names.
Unless I'm
Nah.
trust me as a lawyer.
Okay.
I'm not going to give
so what have you been
her
up to today?
them
I
their
haven't been
names.
home, and now
I can't
I'm
even
really
talk.
concerned about what's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
Ellen puts up her defenses. In a setting outside of an interrogation, defensiveness naturally elicits a negative response from the listener. Detective Smith is trained to employ the resistance countering technique, reframing. In this instance, she utilizes reframing to refocus Ellen's attention.
Guys, don't be afraid to throw me a little bit of tips during this stream. I'd appreciate it. There's a link in the description below.
On something more positive. Holding positivity assists with resetting the flow of conversation, prevents defensiveness from building, and increases efficient information gathering. This tactic draws from the field of positive psychology, which arose from the idea that reorienting focus and reframing perspectives away from negativity results in greater life equilibrium.
Where were you?
Out.
Like, out where?
Just out and about. Couldn't sleep.
When Ellen lied about graduating from South Medford High School,
I graduated with an honors diploma.
she stated that she had graduated with an honors diploma, an identity lie. This is unnecessary detail. In contrast, her responses here are short and vague.
Like, out where?
Just out and about.
She's unable to provide any detail. An investigative team will analyze amounts of detail and specificity in the context of what suspects say. They might note that Ellen was overly specific when she provided detail when Detective Smith didn't prompt her to. Honors diploma. They might also note that Ellen was overly vague when the investigator prompted her to be specific, her actions. Both warrant attention in an interrogative environment.
Where's the last place you slept?
At the house.
At your mom's house?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've talked to your mom. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
She's super worried about you. She's so worried about you.
Detective Smith shares that she knows Ellen is lying, but follows with an empathy statement. There is no perceptible response from Ellen, but it's clear Detective Smith is still trying to earn Ellen's trust and break the ice. This is an attempt to make an emotional connection, but Ellen holds steadfast, maintaining her resistance.
I would actually like to speak truths today. Okay? I think that your mom is, it's been a long time since I've seen a parent like your mom was today. She was on her knees on the ground, sobbing, because that's how worried she is about you. So I do know that that's not where you spent last night. So where'd you spend last night?
I didn't sleep last night.
So where's the last place you slept?
My mother and my father's house.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've talked to your mom, and so I know that you hadn't been staying there.
Right, it's my father's weekend. I go back and forth, though, because my father is a little bit abusive.
Okay.
Ellen mentioned her father's abusive behavior relatively out of context. Her parents shared joint custody, which explains why she went back and forth between their houses. Further, her response bared no relevance to the question. Consider that Ellen conspired to kill her father and very recently encouraged and stood by as her boyfriend murdered him, lifted his body into the trunk of her father's car, and threw it over an embankment. Her statement regarding her father's abusive behavior extends beyond a lack of remorse, resembling something more like revenge. When investigators spoke to Ellen's old friends, they shared that she had been consistently confiding in them about the abuse.
I know that he was kind of rough on her, and she said that he would, emotionally abusive and physically abusive, but I'm not sure how true that is.
What she would bring up is things weren't they were not good at her household. She felt her dad wanted to kill her. He started getting abusive. He started mistreating her sisters and her.
When the Medford PD posted details surrounding the crime and suspects on their Facebook timeline, there was an outpouring of mourning and kind words for Aaron. Many comments portrayed Aaron as the opposite of abusive, stating, Aaron cared more about his girls than anything. Members of the Friar family and the Medford community were shocked.
So what's the last house you left from?
My father's house.
Okay. And when did you leave there?
About noon.
Okay. And then where'd you go?
Just wherever I felt like going. I just went for a walk. And I didn't stop walking.
So today is Monday. And it
Just wait for
11:30.
Don't you guys do that? Don't you guys just start walking and not even know where you're going? Just keep walking? Do you guys do that normally, right? You go on big walks without knowing where you're headed to. You haven't set a destination at all for you to go to at all. You just go. You just walk.
Okay, so I've been awake for almost 24 hours.
So you left at noon. What day?
Sunday.
Okay.
Yesterday.
And what was going on before you left the house?
Detective Smith is attempting to establish timelines, but this proves difficult due to Ellen's continued lying and evasion.
My father was very upset about something.
What was he upset about?
I can't recall. He has very violent outbursts.
Okay.
My dog was hit by a car because he smashed a glass table onto my dog, and the gate was open, so my dog ran outside and he got hit by a car.
My goodness, when did that happen?
A couple of weeks ago.
Okay. So,
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. After hearing her say that she graduated college and all this stuff, I don't know how real any of that stuff is. I don't know how serious to take her with that.
what was going on yesterday to make you leave?
Just didn't really like the environment. I just didn't like the vibe.
Okay. So who was home when you left?
My sisters and my dad.
Okay.
Where's my dad now?
Ellen attempts to act as though she's concerned about her father, but she fails badly. Consider which behavioral cues indicate deception and post the timestamps in the comments.
I don't know. So you leave. What door did you leave out of?
The front door.
Okay. And did you tell anybody you were leaving?
No.
And then where'd you go?
Just turn here, turn there. Just kind of wandering around town.
Ellen describes walking and seeing the nearby market, though she says her memory is fuzzy,
My memory is pretty fuzzy though.
Is it?
and she claims she doesn't remember much else.
And then what else did you see?
Nature.
Nature.
Preceding interrogation, investigators may engage in an exercise termed perspective taking. They place themselves in the suspect's shoes. Suspects will often prepare themselves to answer questions that are central to the crime they committed. By viewing the situation from suspects' perspectives, investigators are more likely to determine what questions suspects might expect or not expect. Investigators will then begin the interrogation by asking anticipated questions to establish a behavioral baseline and follow by asking unanticipated questions. This allows investigators to make a comparison between baseline responses and responses that suspects provide when caught off guard.
Well, at some point you must have met up with some friends.
Oh yeah, I ran into them.
Where were you when you saw them?
Can't remember.
So I feel a little bit, tiny bit like we might just be like playing cat and mouse and going back and forth. Okay.
In addition to displaying high levels of resistance, Ellen pushes back at the investigator. She exhibits prolonged eye contact. This is a confrontational behavior indicating aggressiveness. She will continue to do this periodically throughout the interrogation.
Your sisters have actually been already talked to by somebody, and they're pretty good on their times when they saw you, because they were getting up and alarms were set and looking at tablets and things like that.
Okay.
And so, you know, I just want to have an honest conversation with you. I think that your sisters are beyond scared, beyond worried. Okay.
Where'd Bill Hicks go?
The dog. Where's the dog?
Where is my dog?
What's his name? Squeakerbeak or something?
Sparklebeak.
Sparklebeak.
Where is he?
You tell me.
Where is he?
Where's my dog?
I don't know. Where is Sparklebeak? Okay, well.
It's like the worst
When you
acting
don't have an
ever.
answer about where Sparklebeak is, I don't. Because you're actually the one that took Sparklebeak.
I took him for a walk around the block and then I dropped him back off.
Your Sparklebeak is not anywhere to be found. Your sisters remember you taking... Your sisters actually remember you taking him this morning and walking out the door with Sparklebeak. I think only you know the answer to that.
No, I don't.
It would be nice to be able to at least let Sierra and Olivia know.
I don't know.
Okay.
You thought he got hit by a car? She probably was talking about another animal prior to that dog, I'm assuming. if there's any truth to her story, you know. Who knows if it's even real at all. I'm assuming that there was a dog that got ran over, but who knows? There may not have even been a dog that got ran over at all in the past that she owned. Who knows? She seems to be ready to lie a lot.
I have a boyfriend?
My parents made us break up.
Oh, they did? Tell me about that.
They just didn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
Note that Detective Smith is skilled at asking very open-ended questions to entice Ellen to speak. Open-ended questions encourage narratives that are rich in detail and allow investigators to collect further information and insight related to the case.
How'd you meet him?
School.
At South? Okay. And so you've been out of school for a bit,
Mhm.
but your parents didn't like him?
Yeah.
How come they didn't like him?
I don't know.
Well, you must have had some kind of conversation about why your parents don't like your boyfriend.
They're just like, we don't like this guy. Get rid of him.
So what did you do?
I ended it.
What was that boyfriend's name?
Gavin.
Justin.
What's his last name?
Can't remember. I wasn't dating him for very long. Maybe 2 weeks.
You don't know your boyfriend of 2 weeks' last name.
No.
We could find him in a yearbook, though.
Oh, okay.
Don't you think? Okay. You didn't have any other boyfriend?
No.
Every detail holds the potential to be significant. The nonverbal indicator that follows is very subtle, almost unnoticeable.
I've had a few, like, weak relationships that I don't really consider those to be real.
Everything is noteworthy when it comes to body language analysis. Note that Ellen displays asymmetrical eye blinking and has done so several times throughout the interrogation up to this point. As part of a standard neurological examination, practitioners document asymmetrical facial movement, including eye blinking as well as out-of-the-ordinary ocular movement. Blinking is controlled by the nervous system, specifically through voluntary neural control in the autonomic nervous system. This could be a sign of a neurological, neuropsychological, or psychological issue, as well as medication or drug use. Overtiredness may also cause asymmetrical eye blinking, and Ellen has purportedly been awake for approximately 24 hours or more.
I bet you asymmetrical eye blink, Bill Hicks. Okay? There, I said it.
Although overtiredness is a likely cause, we must also note that Ellen displays other abnormal eye movements at different points during the interrogation, as well as significantly and consistently odd behavior. We can only speculate what exactly this may be, but we do know there is a strong possibility that each time Ellen does this, she is experiencing some form of abnormal brain activity.
Tell me about the boyfriend you had that your dad thought was too old for you.
No. Oh yeah, that's another situation. My dad's just flat out, I don't like this guy. You need to break up with him.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I want my father's wishes for the person I'm seeing.
Who was the guy that was too old for you?
I won't give names.
So what was that circumstance, though? Tell me about that.
My parents are very controlling.
Yeah.
My dad is very abusive.
In what way?
Verbally, emotionally. When I did something that he didn't like, he would grab me right here and he'd pin me against the wall.
And then what would happen?
And then my little sisters would freak out and then he'd stop.
So what was being said or what was being done or what happened to lead up to him putting his hand on you?
I honestly don't know. I'd like to know that myself.
Well, I don't have that answer because you were the one that was there.
Well, like I said, he was drunk, but he's done it sober as well.
But what words were being said?
Like, you.
Whoa.
It's very emotionally damaging to hear your father tell you that.
And who all was there when that happened?
Just me. After school.
I thought you said your sisters were there.
Ellen shared only moments ago that her sisters asked him to stop.
So who was home when you left?
My sisters and my dad.
Okay.
Here she explains that she was alone when it happened. Investigators may ask the same questions repeatedly to look for the slightest deviation in suspect stories. particularly to those who display high levels of resistance, like Ellen does. Among the handful of Ellen's friends and acquaintances who spoke to the police and/or accepted our invitation to interview, 2 mentioned that Ellen was not always honest.
And she came to school one day with a thing on her leg and said it was from her sisters pushing her. But I don't know, because Ellie has kind of lied to me before, which did hurt.
Jillian McFeeder shared the story of an event that occurred closely preceding Aaron's murder with police. McFeeder stated she decided at that point that she could not forgive Ellen for what she'd done.
She was telling her father that she was at my house when she was actually at her boyfriend's house. So I got a call from Ellie that was very frantic saying, I need you to cover for me. So of course I'm thinking, okay, maybe something really bad is going on. So her dad calls me, and of course I cover for her, and then he finds out, so he ends up thinking that I was covering for her the entire time when I did not have a clue that she was lying. This is one time I thought maybe she's in a dangerous situation. Of course I'm going to help her because she was my best friend and I trusted her, and that was the wrong decision.
Jillian ended her friendship with Ellen after that night and explained to the investigator that she would never trust her ex-best friend again. She knew Ellen was going down a wrong path, and she refused to follow. Here, sitting opposite a trained investigator, Ellen does exactly what cost her Jillian's friendship. She lies.
Yeah, sometimes we go over there by ourselves, and we just want to get away from the other two. Having 2 younger sisters is stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's an argument.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
The following questions are generic about whereabouts, the last time she saw her father, and some of her locations over the past 24 hours. Smith is establishing a timeline and frame of reference to compare it to what she knows about Ellen and the crime and what she will learn from Russell's and Gavin's interrogations.
So you were at the park on the other side of the street from Dairy Queen and Blackbird, and then you saw your friend.
Actual photo of the wrong path, yeah.
Just hanging out, being goofballs.
Okay.
We know that Ellen and said friends were certainly not just hanging out, being goofballs. Ellen does not appear to be attached to what she says, seeming guiltless. She also comes off as equally removed from impending consequences. As an honors student with stellar grades, Ellen has demonstrated advanced cognitive ability. She would need to possess assets like strong critical thinking skills, working and long-term memory, and at least an average or above IQ to excel as she has. If Ellen is intellectually gifted, we have less of an explanation for why she consistently tells lies that she cannot keep up with. Her approach to evasion and resistance is persistent but not logical, let alone strong, and it brings up a question as to whether Ellen is in a normal, healthy state of mind at the time of this interrogation. A more sinister...
Where's Red Eye at? Wait, here's 2 guns. Let's see what he says. What a piece of poop. These people suck. Okay. Everybody sucks. They left me all alone, Bill Hicks. I'm all alone to talk about these scary stories. I might cry a little bit. I feel like making some pizza. 2 guns, more like 1 gun. Whoa. I can't believe you just said that, Agent. What? Do you guys want me to do a gaming stream after this?
Her explanation, Ellen could be doing this intentionally, manipulating the investigator and setting the scene for an insanity defense.
And then what was the conversation?
Hey, what are you doing? Nothing much. What are you doing? Just walking around. You want to hang out? Sure. And we started walking.
And when do you think that was?
I'm not quite sure.
What kind of car does your dad drive?
Grand something?
What color is it?
like goldish silver.
Okay. When's
Do an
the last time you were in
ASMR
that
stream,
car?
Bill?
When he drove me to the store.
Detective Smith continues to ask questions surrounding details of the crime. She has reasonable suspicion that Ellen was in that car only hours ago with her dead father in the trunk, and she's probing for behavioral discrepancies between answers Ellen provides here and answers Ellen provided earlier when responding to questions unrelated to the crime.
When's the last time you drove that car?
The last time I drove that car, when I parked the car at Walmart.
Okay. And that was, so today's Monday, and you said that was a couple days ago?
Mm-hmm.
What time of day?
We had to get something for dinner, so I'd say about 6 p.m.
And who all went to Walmart?
Just me and my dad.
Okay. What'd you guys get?
Meat.
What kind? Like,
Meat.
what were you guys making?
Oh, I'm vegetarian, so I don't really care.
By the way, did you know sausages are actually the leftover pig guts? And intestines, and the heart, and the liver, pork chops, they're used.
Okay.
Why is this guy ruining
When's the last time
sausages
you saw
for
your
us?
dad?
What a jerk.
Yesterday. I'm too tired to keep talking. I'm really sorry.
You want to take a little break? Okay. Do you want some water or anything?
No, thank you.
You just want to sit here for a few minutes?
I'd like a place to lay down and sleep.
Okay. Well, you just sit tight for a few minutes and we'll try to figure that out, okay? Okay.
Why is they ruining sausage for me? I like how they, like, I wonder if they hate all, like, the animals being murdered and stuff. I bet they stick up against that stuff, but then they help this girl kill her poor daddy. Checkmate, vegans, yeah.
It may be difficult to imagine that this mild-mannered 15-year-old girl conspired to kill her father. She has denied knowledge and culpability and claimed abuse. She has likewise lied consistently throughout the interrogation. Many involved in this case
What's up,
seem to
young
want an
man?
answer to a question they are hesitant to ask. Was Ellen truly a victim of abuse, or is she lying? We spoke to multiple sources who questioned why Ellen planned and encouraged the murder of her father, when other options of escape from the alleged abuse were available to her. They argued that she could have gone to the police, her doctor, the fire station, or other local sources of support. They asked why she'd not chosen to run away. They admitted that they simply couldn't understand what had happened. It's relevant to note that cases of patricide are extremely rare. The circumstances of Aaron's tragic murder were less than 0.002% likely to happen. This innocent, sweet-sounding 15-year-old girl is not a typical young teenager. Her actions were so unusual that even the FBI lacks the words to describe them. Ultimately, though, Ellen didn't swing the baseball bat that killed her father.
Gavin was kind of one of those kids that kind of everybody knew, at least, because he had kind of a very specific outward kind of image that I think he was trying to display, very dark, very kind of shady,
Overall, he really was relatively nice, but just kind of a weird kid. Gavin was a normal guy. He was really cool.
He's always outgoing. He was an open person. He was like, I don't know, he had friends, but he wasn't like popular, if that makes sense.
It just makes sense that he would do something like that. I mean, he makes threats to kill people. He obviously has the outward image of somebody who it seems like he was playing an imitation game. It's like the classic,
scrawny version of Gene.
mafia
Gene
at
is
school. Like, it
well.
seems
You
he
mean
wanted to
like
be one of the Columbine shooter.
okay? You mean like a Gene that's not fat, right? Yeah, that he kind of looks like a not fat Gene. He's like Gene if Gene was skinny. Yeah, I agree.
Many of those who knew Gavin held mixed perceptions of him. From multiple accounts, he seemed to be as much of a friend as he was an enemy, as normal as he was eccentric, and as outgoing as he was Some said that they noticed him changing over the couple of years leading up to Aaron's murder. Others said that he had always been the way he was. Regardless of whether pre-murder impressions of Gavin were positive or negative, most who responded to our request to interview didn't believe that he could have done what he did.
He was never like that, man. No one would have ever guessed that he would have been a murderer, you know? In social environments, he can be cool. If you're just with him, like, he'll start saying that makes you think, like, oh, you shouldn't say that. Don't say that to anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, keep that one to yourself.
Gavin's behavior and responses to investigators, framed within the context of what family and old friends and acquaintances have said, serve as an opportunity for a unique insight into a crime that no one anticipated. This interrogation occurred less than a day after Gavin bludgeoned Aaron to death, but shortly after he sits, he lightheartedly, mechanically asks,
"How's your morning been so far?"
Busy.
Busy?
Yeah.
Mark this heavy contrast as our first behavioral observation of Gavin. He displays no visible signs of remorse. Just as we observed in Ellen, Gavin appears unfazed by the seriousness of his past actions and present situation. Whereas Ellen initially presented as emotionally flat, Gavin teeters on the edge of jovial. This is the start of what is known as the Reed technique. The first step in such technique is isolation, which they've done for an extended period. The second step deployed here is called maximization. The Reed technique recommends 5 minutes of isolation, but Gavin has been isolated for hours, with the exception of an officer keeping a close watch on him. Following isolation and maximization, the Reed method incorporates 3 primary categories: fact analysis, investigative interview, and interrogation. As part of the fact analysis step, investigators gather the facts involved in the case and analyze them to search for motive, potential to commit the crime,
him sleep.
and likelihood to commit the crime.
He's sleeping.
Law enforcement will use both dependent and independent corroborating evidence in this stage. During this stage, investigators develop a full understanding of the crime scene and other relevant aspects of the crime.
All right. So, me and Jim have spent about 4 hours with, you probably know Miss Mike.
Yeah. Wow.
And Detective Stephanie Smith has spent about the same amount of time with Ellie. And I just want to throw some things at you. So all I want you to do right now is just listen to me and let you know what's going on, okay?
Step 1. Positive confrontation. At this point, the investigators have acquired enough evidence to reasonably suspect that Gavin committed the crime. As part of positive confrontation, the primary investigator lays it all out on the table, objectively stating the facts. He does this in an intentionally soft, soothing voice to appear non-threatening and to give Gavin a false sense of security.
Mike took us out to East Antelope and pointed out the tarp, and we have people out there right now recovering Ellie's dad. He's deceased. Ellie's dad was basically wrapped up in a blanket and a tarp and taken out and dumped.
The investigator opts to use words that are non-accusatory while presenting the evidence. He does not say, "You took his body and dumped it." He says, "His body was taken out and dumped." The latter is passive voice as opposed to active. Controlling suspects' levels of resistance and
Is what brainwashing, agent? What do you mean?
defensiveness is critical to the success of an interrogation.
We don't know if this is something that's been planned out a long time ahead or if this was just like last night, you guys decide to go over there and get Ellie the hell out of a bad situation.
The investigator implements Step 2, theme development here. He frames the crime from a perspective that fulfills Gavin's moral justifications. This is the investigator's moral theme. If Gavin murdered Aaron, he did it to protect Ellen. This will occur and build as the interrogation progresses. The investigators pre-planned this, likely structuring it around information gleaned from other sources like
Gavin was only protecting Ellie.
We will call the investigators' theme development the hero theme.
This isn't a matter of when it happened, where it happened, who was involved. It's more a matter of why this happened and what was going on through all of you guys' minds at the time. We don't take sides in these kind of cases. We're basically truth seekers. We're here to seek the truth as to what happened. And Ellie has been 100% cooperative with us.
Are you Ellie? No. What's your name?
She's been 100% cooperative with us. That's great. No, it's not brainwashing, making him sit in the room. It's manipulation. There's manipulation involved in all this. A lot of manipulation involved in it. And sometimes that's a bad thing, which we'll see in some of the cases that I show in the future doing these. It can be a bad thing when the cops aren't doing the job right and everything. But it can also be an extremely good thing because what matters is that if the person did the murder, getting them to confess and getting all the evidence is you know, is what matters. If you have to lie to them like that guy just did and tell him that Ellie has been cooperating the whole time even though she hasn't, he lied, right? But he's not lying about anything that's illegal for him to lie about. And I think that kind of thing is fine, but it can be bad in some situations. When cops don't know what they're doing, it can be bad. But this is a situation where it looks like they're using it for good. They're using it to get people who ended some dude's life who may have been some older dude, but he probably still had 30, 40 years left on his life easy or something. They took that from him. So, you know, it's better, like, who cares if they have to lie to them in the process of getting them to admit their guilt and get them prosecuted. What matters is the justice there. People shouldn't, you know, people shouldn't be able to get away with this.
What about turning silent?
And then how long have you known Ellie?
Ellie, it's been almost a year now, I'd say.
Okay. Boyfriend, girlfriend?
It's only about 6 months.
There's some information that Ellie might be pregnant. Has she told you that? Okay.
Gavin confirms that he was both dating and sleeping with Ellen. That is, he confirms that he was both dating and sleeping with a minor.
So yeah, she's pregnant too. That's some more information that you guys didn't know. Up until this point in the video, yeah, she's pregnant. Again, she's 15 and he's 19.
It took a handful of seconds for this investigator to prompt Gavin to admit to a statutory offense.
He would like hang around middle schools. When he had turned 18 is when everybody like found out that he was with like a 15-year-old. People were automatically like, okay, bro, like that's not cool. And a lot of people stopped talking to him. And he wanted her at any cost. No one else could have her.
Because Gavin shows little resistance and doesn't reject or deny the investigator's accusations, the investigator can bypass steps 3 and 4 of the Reed interrogation technique, handling denials and overcoming objections. Instead, he jumps straight into step 5 of the Reed technique, procurement and retention of suspects' attention. The investigator must guide Gavin's attention away from the potential repercussions of the crime and back to the main theme. He does this through minimization or through rationalizing that the crime was not that serious of an offense.
You guys are only, what, 3-4 years apart? A little over 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the investigator's redirection here, Gavin is back in the hero mindset. From Gavin's perspective, investigators are only concerned about Aaron's abuse.
You see, like, there's a lot of manipulation going on here because the guy here that's talking to him, he's talking to him and he's not, like, he's specifically going out of his way to use these certain tones when talking to him, like how he just said that there. He said, you're only, like, 2 or 3 years apart, right? And he's saying it like this guy's. It seems like he's saying here in the video, it's minimization. He's acting like it really, yeah. And it's like, so you're only like a tiny bit of, years apart, anyways, right? Yeah.
Daughter, not his murder, and Gavin has exactly the information they need.
Her dad's an alcoholic, and he goes and she said that he's beaten her and locked her in the bathroom before and stuff.
Has she ever told you that anything in regards to?
That was just recently. That's what set me off. So
Okay.
This is a turning point. In just over 10 minutes, Gavin has fully bought into the hero theme. The next steps are crucial to the success of the interrogation. They almost have a full confession, but sticking true to the Reed method, the investigator immediately continues as though Gavin merely commented on the state of the weather. The hero approach to theme development was Gavin's Achilles heel, his greatest weakness. His crime was gruesome and ruthless, but he seemed to desire to be a hero as much as he desired to be a villain. Among the dozens of friends and acquaintances we interviewed, only one confirmed a possible explanation as to why this theme works so well for investigators.
He was very protective of the people he cared about. Actually, how we met, I was bad-mouthing a couple people, not realizing that he was connected to those people. They had pissed me off, and for whatever reason, I just wanted to talk, and he gave me a black eye.
Although Jacob laughed it off, the example he gave supports the theory that Gavin possesses a low anger threshold, meaning he's anger-prone. Some might argue that Gavin's actions display extreme loyalty, whereas others might protest that they served as outlets for his aggression.
When did she tell you about that, and what did she tell you?
That was yesterday.
What's your understanding of what he did to Ellie?
He basically laid next to her naked and started.
And then so you mentioned that kind of set you off, upset you. Obviously, it would upset me too.
This is an empathy statement, something that encourages reciprocity. Establishing reciprocity, in this case emotional reciprocity, in an interrogative setting is a form of persuasion. If the investigator provides a small favor, the suspect may feel a need to return it, thereby lowering resistance. The empathy statement also creates an opportunity for Gavin to elaborate on what he meant when he said he lost it. But the investigator quickly moves on once Gavin responds. Linguistic analysis involves the interpretation of words and phrases in context. So is a transitional expression. The simple linguistic interpretation here is that Gavin wants to move on from this topic of conversation. The investigator intuits this and immediately resumes asking questions along the lines of the hero theme.
And then, so what was the plan going over to Ellie's last night? Was it to pick up her belongings?
What's up, Billy?
To pick up some stuff and get her out of there, yeah.
Okay.
He's held me at a gunpoint before.
He what?
He's threatened my life and held me at gunpoint before.
Aaron has over at his house?
And then there was one time he came over banging on my door because he was all mad. I actually called you guys for that because I was like, I didn't want to go out the door, look out the window, or see anything because I didn't know if he had a gun or not. But
how long ago was that you called us?
I think it was a month ago.
And then when was the situation where he pointed a gun at you? Where was that? Where did that happen and how long ago was that?
Gavin describes his interaction.
You missed the nose picking, Billy. I think there's more nose-picking footage coming up, though. Okay, so you didn't miss out on all of it.
Interactions with Aaron as being characterized by fear. He claims that Aaron threatened him more than once. Beyond Gavin's reports of Aaron's threatening behavior, Ellen claimed to him that Aaron abused her. The fear response is an evolutionary physiological survival mechanism that's triggered in reaction to perceived impending harm. It's otherwise termed the fight or flight response, which includes the following reactions: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. We'll discuss the fight or flight response concerning Gavin as the interrogations progress.
So I went over to his house one time. This was where I knew that he didn't like me or whatever. And I came over and he's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And then I'm like, "I was here to say hi to Ellie. She said that I was to come over." And he's like, "No." So he grabbed a gun and was like, "Get the fuck out of here. I'm giving you 20 seconds."
Did Ellie witness that?
No. I don't know what caused him to not like me anymore.
Okay.
So he was really chillaxed. I mean, he was, of course, being like protective dad. He said, "I'll knock out your teeth if you ever hurt my daughter." And I was like, "Yeah, I understand."
Does he drink a lot?
So, yes, he is an alcoholic.
If Aaron suffered from alcoholism, Ellen could have been in a considerably unstable environment. Children of individuals who struggle with alcoholism are more likely to develop mental illness. Moreover, and in reference to Ellen's claims, greater consumption of alcohol relates to greater rates of inappropriate, unwanted advances.
So you get this text.
You drunk, Billy?
Last night, and when
Prove
you got
it.
over there, what time of the morning
Prove
do you
it.
think it is now that you guys arrive?
It was 2:30 in the morning.
2:30 in the morning is when you guys get there. Okay.
Gavin must be in his hero mindset, believing that the investigators view his crime as morally justifiable. Once Gavin is primed to be more receptive, open, and honest, the primary investigator dives into information gathering. Note that the second investigator is present to ensure proper execution of Step 9 of the Reed interrogation technique, converting an oral confession into a written confession. A third party witnesses and writes down suspects' confessions.
Where is she at when you first see her?
She's poking her head out the window, being like, "Hey, come on in."
Out of her bedroom window? Okay. And what do you and RJ do at that point?
At that point, RJ was like, "Okay," and then gas bubble or something.
Okay.
I go in the window. RJ waits outside.
He waits outside,
Yeah.
and then do the bags
Jim
start getting
can't
passed out
swim?
the window?
Yeah.
How many bags do you think she has ready to go at that point when you get there?
Gavin appears calm and collected, unaffected by his present circumstances.
Bill and Billy, if you guys want to keep me streaming after I'm done covering this, if we can get a bit of tips coming through, I can maybe do such a thing. Maybe do a gaming stream after this.
However, as the investigator probes more deeply into the specifics of that night, Gavin crosses his arms tightly over his chest. This is a self-pacifying behavior, a self-hug meant to reduce stress and regulate emotions.
I love
When we
self-hugging.
got there, she had 4 bags. She had a guitar.
The pellet rifle.
The pellet rifle, yeah. And then she had like a makeup kit and then another thing in it.
So now it's you and Ellie in the bedroom, and you mentioned that Dad heard you. Did Dad hear you guys in there? Or did...
Well, he got up and then Ellie was like, "Oh, I'll just go out and act like I'm going to the bathroom or whatever." Because, I mean, I didn't want this guy to come and start beating the crap out of me.
Really?
So
What
how
the
did the
heck?
conversation go between Ellie and her dad at that point when she's saying, "I
Whoops.
got up and went to go pee"?
And he's like, "Alright, well, stop scaring me with
The
all
hell?
the people trying to break in lately." And I was like, wait, what? Because that was the first night we had gone. I mean, we went over there last night, but, I mean, we didn't go for it because her dad's girlfriend was there.
Okay.
Saturday night.
So you'd went over to
Because
Saturday
they-
night
it's
to try to get her out of there.
Oh, damn. Okay, whatever. Okay, so... Oh, your dad died a couple weeks ago, for real? Oh, never mind. You told me about that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, dude, I'd appreciate if you look in the description below. There's the Streamlabs. There should be the Streamlabs for the Dank Dumpster. If you guys could come through with some tips, I'd appreciate it, and I will I'll try to keep on pushing on and streaming after this stream. I could do some gaming.
I know I'm in serious trouble, aren't I?
Well, we need to figure out what happened. And, you know, there's a lot of things in play here. But so now you've been there about 20 minutes before Ellie interacted with her dad.
Yeah, do it.
His tone is even, and his responses are level, but when Gavin removes his jacket, we can reasonably assume that he is more stressed than he's letting on. Actions like tugging at a shirt collar or removing clothing, as Gavin does here, may be referred to as ventilating behaviors. When circumstances are heating up, humans may lean on these behaviors to cool down.
And I know this is going to be a little bit difficult to talk about, Gavin, but you got to be 100% honest and truthful with this. What happens next?
And a couple
So
supers.
then Ellie got out, and they waited in the car, and then...
Ellie went to the car?
Yeah.
Did she go out the window?
Yeah, Bill Hicks there went to the funeral recently and stuff. Forgot for a moment he told me about that. Yeah, you know, it'll suck when, you know, I definitely don't look forward to when my parents pass. It'll be a lot on me. Also, I'm drinking tonight, and I can maybe push on and keep drinking more. I can maybe fill this glass up some more.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Bill Heeks coming through with a $2 tip. Thank you, big balls. Thank you. Wow, this video is long. I didn't realize that.
Window or the front door?
She went out the window.
Okay.
As Gavin answers, he rubs his nose. While nose touching under high stress circumstances does not
We
necessarily
need to get red eye here. I need red eye.
indicate
My
deception,
baby.
it does indicate heightened stress. It appears that Gavin's feelings of discomfort are building.
And when you said they waited in the car, are you talking about RJ and her? I can tell you that the car is seen on video on a surveillance camera at a neighbor's house, leaving at about 5:50 in the morning. If you're getting into the bedroom at about 2:30, you're talking about 3 hours until you guys leave. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. That entire 3-hour time, what's going on inside the bedroom? I mean, what's the purpose of waiting so long?
We were trying to wait for him to fall asleep again so that we could get out.
Okay.
And then he starts to wake up, and I just acted on instinct, and I don't know what I was doing.
We know that Gavin was aware of what he was doing, but it appears that he displays little to no signs of discomfort or deception in this moment.
And then, like, I just kept hitting him until he stopped, and then I heard, like, gurgling, and I was like, what's going on? I'm really sorry.
Next, Gavin does something unexpected.
I know you are, and I know this is difficult. And that's what we're...
Now he's crying. After all that, now he's
Let me ask you this, Gavin. Were you upset because of everything that Ellie had told you? Okay.
I didn't want to kill him. I didn't want to kill him.
Right, but why not at 4:30 when you know she has the keys, why not just everybody go out the window and leave?
Ellie hates her parents. She doesn't want to go back there again. She wanted him dead, but I didn't want to kill him. And I was like, I'm not going to kill him. She was all like, no, I don't want him around it. I mean, I don't want him around my sisters anymore. I mean, I'm so sorry. I'm going to prison for murder, aren't I?
Well, that's what we need to figure out here. We need to figure out what your intent was, and it's important to know.
I'm trying to protect Ellie.
Okay.
My boss will try it.
So do you think that Ellie could have influenced Gavin?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would never see my nephew acting in that behavior of brutally killing somebody. From my point of view and everybody else, you know, my family, we all agree that Ellie was 100% at fault.
It was not long before Gavin admitted to his role in executing Aaron's murder. As opposed to Ellen, he put up little to no...
Did I just hear what I think I heard? It sounded like one of his family members said that he thinks Ellie is 100, or they, whether they're a male or female, you can't tell. Claims that Ellie is 100% at fault. Ellie is the 15-year-old girl. He's 19 years old. Even if she manipulated him and lied, he's 19 years old. What? That sounds like... Unless I'm misunderstanding what they just said, that is a really stupid take on it. Or at least it's really stupid to say it's 100% her fault. No. No. That's silly. It's way more his fault than it is her fault as far as I'm concerned. He's the one that did the murder. He's the one that's the adult in the situation as well. So, yeah, I think he's way more at fault than the little girl that instructed him to do something bad.
Resistance, immediately acknowledging that the events that morning had transgressed and that he had solely swung the bat that killed Aaron. Russell would prove even less resistant, uninhibitedly spilling nearly all details involved in the crime. Just as Gavin stated he was doing, Russell insisted that he was protecting Ellen. What we are about to observe is among the most bizarre behavior we have seen in an interrogation up to this point.
Is that a camera right there? I'd
Yep,
rather
camera.
not have a camera aimed at me.
I don't. We talked to Detective Board, but I think they're required to. So it's nothing.
Like
I mean, heck, I've had a body cam all day. I mean,
well, yeah, but see,
my friend, we're recorded wherever.
Hey, 10 on the slab for Billy Hicks and his old man. 2 fists to the chest, 1 to the sky. Yeah, see, Billy understands. Thank you, Billy. Guys, be like Billy. Come through with those tips if you want me to stream after this. Although this is a really long video. I kind of didn't notice that until now.
Where we go.
But thank you. I really appreciate the support. Thank you.
You know that.
In fact, I'm gonna take a dab in the name of Billy Boy Blue and Bill Hicks. Yeah, Mango, I'm live doing cool guy stuff, watching this crazy video. There's nose picking in this video, Mango. Okay, this might be the only interrogation video I ever watched where someone eats their boogies, where they pick their own nose and eat their boogies. So stay tuned for the boogies. Alright, I'm going to take a dab. Keep coming through with those tips, guys. If we get a bit more tips here, I will keep streaming, doing a gaming stream. I'll do a gaming stream after this stream. Unless this lasts too long. This might last too long for that to be something I do. Now that I think about it. This still has 2 hours left on the video. I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see how things go. But I'd appreciate some tips, guys. Let's heat up this nail real quick. Yeah, lowbrow interrogation. Yeah. See, Mango gets it. I wish Gene was here. Hit the like button, guys, if you haven't yet. Give the stream a thumbs up for me. Oh, dang. Alright, let's get this dab. Alright, give the stream a like if you haven't yet. Come through with those tips, guys, and cheers, you guys. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get back to this.
Police bathroom?
Seems like it. Probably, yeah. You have a seat, man. I can sit down.
Well, you can sit down.
Yeah, well, I'm not allowed to sit unless you're sitting. So that way I can sit. Well.
Russell tries to show dominance and control by stating he doesn't want to be recorded, and then after the officer tells him he can sit down, he replies, You can sit down. This immediately shows he's trying to display his lack of fear of authority. Of the three who participated in the crime earlier that morning, Russell appears to be the least impacted. While Gavin's behavior evolved from casually polite to distraught, and Ellen's from flat to angry, Russell's is steadily lighthearted and upbeat. His conduct is eccentric, driven by a variety of psychological factors that will break down as his interrogation progresses.
My mom kind of took him under her wing, trying to help him. He mentioned that he's autistic, and so he has trouble finding work. And it wasn't too long before that my youngest son was diagnosed with autism. So that was our instant connection. He did a lot of family things with us. He spent Easter with us. He's gone to dinners with us. So we're pretty close. I mean, he calls me his sister. He calls my mom.
Really? It sounds good, huh?
It's kind of a nice place.
Yeah, it's probably soundproof so that people,
Well, people can get loud in holding cells. Because sometimes we bring, drunks here from driving.
Drunks are the worst.
Yeah. Not a big fan of them.
Not a big fan of them. Like, I protect people, like I said.
Russell persistently claims that he owns a protection business. He unshakingly asserts this, and the police don't at any point question it. When individuals are convinced of something untrue despite all evidence indicating otherwise for an extended period, they're said to hold a delusion. Oftentimes, delusions are bizarre, meaning they're highly improbable or not set in reality. E.g., an individual consistently believes that the neighbor reads minds. Other times, delusions are non-bizarre, involving beliefs that are within the realm of possibility, e.g., consistently believing one is being followed. Russell's protection business could be a delusion. While outside of the norm, it could nonetheless be true, qualifying as non-bizarre. We would require additional information, such as input from friends and those Russell claims to protect, to determine this.
But, I try not to resort to violence.
Good.
I always try and talk to the person.
Yeah.
Her father is a drunk, compared to what she's told me. And I've only talked to him over the phone probably once or twice. He seems really not that good of a father.
Really?
Yeah. He,
Her father?
Yeah.
Who is her father's name, you know?
All I know him as
If I know.
is, Aaron. That's all I know. Of course, then again, I know, Aaron Martinez.
He's done really bad at sticking with the whole, if you watch the beginning of this stream, he had a whole different demeanor in the beginning, acting like he was, the Joker. Now he's just casually talking with the cop.
Father, but I don't know his last name. And I know Aaron Novi. So.
Okay.
Russell starts rambling, and the investigator allows him to do this. This is a strategy to keep the accused talking so they feel comfortable, and the more comfortable a person feels, the more likely they are to say something incriminating. This is also a way for the officer to build trust.
I met him when I was living in Medford, working at a place called the Purple Parrot. He was trying to find a job so he could find a place to live because he was homeless. He was very sweet, very clean cut, very nice. He's just a savior. That's all he wanted to do was help people. All his life he was let down. He went from foster home to foster home to foster home. So I would let him come in to get warm. And then one day, he didn't even have a coat. And it was 3 degrees. And I go, where are you going? And he says, well, I'm just going to walk around until McDonald's opens. And I'm like, no, you're going to come home with me so you'll be warm. I felt like, enough was enough. This poor kid needs some help. And no one's going to help him.
I think it was a good 2 years that he was in our lives. Mostly in my mom's life. He really did become a son to her. Anytime he was looking for help or willing to take help, she would help him.
Russell stated previously that he's diagnosed with autism. As a neurodiverse individual, Russell likely struggles with certain aspects of communication. Although he largely displays well-developed social skills, he exhibits circumstantial speech here. The various individuals named Aaron are not directly related to the conversation at hand. We'll continue to observe examples that support this diagnosis, as well as others, throughout the interrogation.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think I've ever met her father before.
Yeah.
I don't think I've met her before.
You don't want to.
I've never met you, and I don't think I've met
the other guy. The hunting rifle. Yeah.
Is it a nice one, or?
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay.
I've never met her.
How'd you know he had one?
She told me.
Oh.
because he
Oh, like
likes
that,
to
so-
drink a lot.
Oh, okay.
So, and the other night, the reason why I was helping her was because he went into her room and laid next to her.
I like where this is going. Really? She tell you that?
Yeah, and that's why I got her out. Yeah, we went down to the park. We met up there. I told her just like leave everything.
Yeah.
And just like get the hell out of there. Grab like
What
a bag
park?
of clothes. Union, I think.
He says Union is a question, with his voice trailing upward. These are both indications that he may be lying. He hasn't said prior to this, so it's not a normal pattern of his speech, and answering a question with the inflection of a question shows uncertainty in your answer, either because you're lying or aren't confident in the response being correct.
Yeah, but I've always been kind of a
Hey. Shabisky is diagnosed with autism. He is the greatest. Thank you, Rat Lord. Guys, be like Rat Lord. Come through with some tips for me. I appreciate it, guys. 20 more. How about this? $20 more, and I will stream after this stream. Can we get $20 more in on the tips? If we could do that, 20 more, we could do that. Thank you, Rat Lord. I appreciate you, big balls.
This isn't the first time Russell has claimed to be a protector of people.
He looks out for people, and
I think I might. This is a really long video, and I think I might like end this stream early and save this case for like when I have more people here. Maybe. Unless Red Eye joins me.
takes it a little too far. One of my family members.
Maybe Red Eye might come and join me. I'm not
He
sure.
wanted to go over and beat him up because he was emotionally abusive to me. I really disagree on what he did, but I think that he had the right intentions.
Do a
He would
two-parter?
always give you
Yeah.
the jacket off his back.
It's not a bad idea too. It's so long. It has over 2 hours left still.
Also had this grand idea of creating a community for homeless people or just
Mango.
young people that need help, that don't have help.
Yeah, dishonest
So
Red
he was
Eye.
always trying to go out and resource that, like trying to build that up. He still does. He still talks about that. People look to him like a protector, and he really liked that. It made him feel valued, gave him a sense of purpose, because that was another problem.
Billy.
He didn't really have a sense of purpose. He was just kind of left in the wind.
Unless people piss me off, then they become the, not really target in a bad thing.
Yeah.
Just like target as in like someone that needs a firm talking to.
Okay.
Or a slap across the face, depending on the situation.
How much do they pay you for that? Have you been paid yet, or?
Not financially.
No.
Because I can't legally work with the SSI.
They pay me in
Because I
in
can
blow
only work
jobs.
Under the table jobs.
Yeah.
Those don't.
How much SSI do you get?
$7.35 plus a $22 check.
Net a month?
Yeah.
Russell begins giving the officer details of his family and personal life, which is a good indication he's developed trust with him. The investigators enter the room, and the officer asks one of them to step out.
Can I talk to you for just a quick minute? Hey, take care, brother.
You do.
Likely to brief him on what they discuss that is relevant to the case, to see if he is consistent, and possibly to also let him know a little about his personality. So the investigator knows the best approach and techniques to deploy in getting what he needs from the interrogation.
Before we get too wrapped up in this thing, I just got here to work.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to explain why we're here today for you and just have
I
you...
don't even know why I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to have you just sit and listen to what...
Heavy
the story
Shabisky
is.
vibes.
Yeah, I have nothing to hide. So.
Okay, good. You were very cooperative with
Yeah.
us on that last deal. And
Except for when the car like drove up onto the sidewalk, I was like a little bit startled.
Yeah, surprise, right?
Not too
yeah.
Hey.
Told me to get on the ground, and I was.
Gotta get one more in, Shabby. Are you talking about one more stream? Or what? What are you talking about? Thank you, Billy. Or you mean one more tip? Thank you, Billy. I appreciate you, big balls. Thank you. Guys, be like Billy. Come through with those tips for me. Thank you, everybody.
Was trying to go on the ground.
Okay.
And they actually, like, helped me onto the ground.
They
Like,
helped?
they told me to get on the ground, so I'm trying to get on the ground. You don't have to push my ass. Seriously. Seriously? I can do it on my own, damn it.
Take a moment to place yourself in Russell's shoes. This is more than likely not something someone would say to a member of law enforcement in this situation. It's not tactical, let alone remotely helpful. He does this countless times and...
Wait, one more drink? Or you want me to do one more drink? Because I can. I just drank the rest of that. He wants to get his tip in me? Oh my god, oh, Billy. Billy. Oh my god. I got locked up, they won't let me out, no. They won't let me out. Do 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 do. Okay, should I pour another drink? I can do such a crazy thing. I can do that.
It becomes increasingly clear that there are some other disturbing factors at play surrounding his involvement in the crime.
But you seem like a nice guy. The guy that I was talking to seemed like a nice guy, so.
No Sprite.
Perfect.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Now all I need is a cigarette and I'll be happy. But I doubt we can, though.
You want to get a smoke?
Sure.
Do you have any smoke? I got some in my desk.
Are we allowed to smoke now?
Yeah, we can go outside.
This murder was brought to you by Mountain Dew. Gotta like zoom in on the Mountain Dew. No, I'm kidding. It's a joke. Drink and dab? Should I? I can do both. Alright. Let me put some ice in this real quick. Hold up. Okay, alright. So, drink a Mountain Dew. And do what's up, Skabeeby? Hold on, let me open up this soda. Okay, let's see. Billy Boy Blue Baller wants me to tell everyone that this is his favorite podcast. Hell yeah, Billy. I wish there was more people. I feel like it's not nearly as entertaining with me just by myself here, but I'm glad you guys are enjoying it, though. If you guys are. I mean, you might be hating it. I understand if you do. So, alright. Got this bottle. I'm pouring. There we go. Yep. And yeah, that was a spoon that you saw. That was indeed a spoon. Using it to stir. Okay. Alright, I did it. I poured a glass. I did it all by myself, Scooby. Okay, so yeah, and that's a pretty strong glass there.
Oh,
Wanna
outside.
go outside and have a cigarette real quick?
Sure.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, 'cause I smoke, I talk better when I have a cigarette. So. 'Cause right now I'm, like, stressed out, and I don't know what's going on.
The investigators give Russell a drink and allow him to go out and have a cigarette. Both things are done to further put him at ease and to gain favor with him. Sometimes it's used as a carrot to get someone to confess, and they will tell the person that they can smoke after they tell them what happened, etc. People being interrogated are sometimes not yet under arrest, so they can leave if they want to, and they certainly cannot be forced to speak. The police try to make them feel less inclined to want to leave by giving them food and drinks and cigarette breaks, and so as not to violate any due process rights. Russell proceeds to tell investigators everything they need to know.
You can sit in that chair over there. Okay. And you bring your food in. Let me have your pop bottle.
Look at this guy. He's getting me jealous. He got McDonald's. I want McDonald's. See, and then he said that he speaks better when he smokes a cigarette. You can see you'll see right here, he goes right back into the Joker attitude.
As has been the case with Russell so far, we have few words to explain what exactly it is that happens next.
That's not actually nice in the hospital ones. Hospital ones are kind of mean.
Over the next few minutes, Russell continues to narrate his experience eating McDonald's French fries, but he also behaves in ways which we really don't know how to describe.
You know, go agree with these.
He's talking like there's somebody there.
No.
This guy reminds me of Gene.
Part of the Reed interrogation technique discussed earlier involves isolation, or letting suspects sit on their own without much stimulation or social interaction. The goal is to increase suspects' feelings of panic or wanting to escape. It seems that Russell responds differently to attempts at isolation than most others. Between his dramatic displays of odd behavior, he begins to leak disturbing information critical to the case. We begin to receive small doses of the terrifying truth.
I don't know. It wasn't really self-defense so much as it was defending her. It was, you're listening in on my conversations, aren't you? Camera off.
He kind of reminds me a little bit of the onion guy. What's the artist that's on and on and on and on and on and Oliver Tree, yeah. It kind of reminds me of Oliver Tree. You guys know who that is.
Yeah. I don't care if you're fed or not. I can still twist your little mind. Don't piss me off.
This makes me really want some McDonald's, honestly.
Nothing appears to register for Russell in terms of the gravity of his situation. He's unashamedly confrontational with law enforcement when they're out of sight. He holds delusions of grandeur specifically related to power. These types of delusions often form when individuals have been in abusive situations in which they were powerless.
And I think that's really why he went to go help, well, what he thought was helping these people that he got wrapped up in.
I mean, literally, for his 21st birthday, he had never had a party. I made him a cake. We had a little party at my daughter's house. He ran around with the kids, so even though he's 21, he was playing with 10-year-olds, you know, and having a great time. I let him to be a little kid because he told me he never got to be a little kid. For kids that are high functioning, they're, you know, very giving, loving. They just want acceptance.
Two cops were nice. He was actually pretty good too. Very understanding. She bought me food last time. And this time. Maybe I should talk to him more often.
Because Russell continues to talk and is making useful and incriminating statements, the investigator will likely let him sit in the room alone, talking for as long as he continues to do so.
No, I didn't know that.
Russell had numerous encounters with law enforcement leading up to this moment. There are several charges on his record preceding this crime, including sodomy and abuse in the 3rd degree.
I wonder if I can be an undercover agent. Ooh, a really long one. I understand, sir.
There's evidently no one in the room with Russell, so he's either vocalizing an imagined dialogue or hearing someone who's not there. If the latter is true, this could be an auditory hallucination, meaning that Russell is hearing something non-existent. This, coupled with his delusions, would strongly indicate that he is in a state of psychosis. Individuals commonly reference the word psychotic when they see others acting in an aggressive, unusual, unstable, or other abnormal manner. But the technical definition involves issues with reality testing, distinguishing between what is objectively real and what is objectively not real. Behavioral manifestations may include delusions or hallucinations, and we know that, at a minimum, Russell experiences delusions. We'll later see that Russell previously commented that he suffers from bipolar disorder.
Billy.
Bipolar disorder creates abnormal swings from neutral mood states to periods of abnormally high energy and/or irritability or mania, to periods of abnormally low energy and/or sadness or depression. This mental illness, affecting nearly 2.6% of the United States population, is the country's 6th leading cause of disability, and it tracks that Russell is on that list. Up to this point, we've witnessed particularly strange behavior, but none so strange as what follows.
You do know I know you're listening, right? So listen here. Ellen Friar is my client, my protectee. I would like to see her. Asking. Being polite. I know you're looking directly at me, aren't you? The information I gave is not worth $6. It's worth a lot more.
Russell behaves as though he's a supervillain. He's so removed from the reality of the situation that it may prove difficult to imagine the events that occurred earlier that day. When he accidentally turns off the recording device, he seems surprised that he can do so, and begins playing with it. The gravity of the situation he's in is clouded, but we don't yet know by what. He's visibly happy with this new sense of control he feels by being able to turn the recording device on and off.
Red means you can't hear me. Green, you can. Gavin and Ellie are to be released to me because the assault her father did the morning of the incident, defending a female. Now here's the thing. I know the cops' twisted little pathetic rule game. And actually, sometimes I like to think that I invented the rule book. I'm not exactly bragging, but I use reverse psychology, which makes me be able to...
Russell steeples his hands, which is a gesture to indicate superiority over those you're speaking to.
Make you think it's not...
This guy is cringe, yeah, Skabibi. He thinks he's a supervillain, and it's really weird how his demeanor changes. And it seems... It's really weird, because it almost seems like as if the cigarettes had an effect on it, but maybe that was just a coincidence. But it seemed like he was acting like a supervillain. He slowly but surely turned into a normal person, almost, with the way he acts and everything. And then he went and smoked a cigarette and he comes back and he's supervillain again. It's almost like the stimulants like activated in him or something. He bented the rule book. Yeah. Guys, hit the like button for me. Hit the thumbs up. And keep coming through with those tips, guys, if you're enjoying this stream.
Gavin, but in fact, your own kid, by reverse psychology, making you look like the lunatic. We can play it the easy way or the hard way. I'm talking nice. You got two choices. One, put a bullet through my head, or two, for all the evidence that I gave you guys, right there on a silver platter, right there, down to the last detail. Not one thing missing. A whole list, step by step by step. Even a third grader could read how easy that was. For one, Ellie is still technically a minor.
Supervillain cigarettes.
Russell is speaking to the officers in a condescending tone and looking at a non-existent watch. He's under the delusion that because he has confessed every detail of the crime step by step, they owe him something now.
You want to play hardball? I played baseball when I was younger. I wouldn't go there. And I know everything
I
that
played
I'm saying
baseball.
is being recorded, and I'm doing it on purpose. I can easily turn the speaker off and rant, and then you guys will come in thinking I'm a loony because you don't hear me. Here's the thing. I'm not the one with the donut fetish. Give a cop a donut, and he'll want a coffee to go with it. Give a mouse a cookie, and he'll want a glass of milk. Give a moose a muffin, and he'll want something else. But here's my favorite one. What is it when a cop car is towed by a tow truck? Pulled pork.
When the officers don't respond to his threats, Russell begins making police jokes and using police stereotypes. He continues on his narcissistic rant and delusions of having control and dominance in this situation.
So, we can either tell pig jokes all day, or we can have a little chat. I'm very, good at convincing people. And I don't even use hypnosis. I think I just said
Again, Russell speaks to someone who is not there. This is either a hallucination or vocalized internal dialogue.
I don't know what's up with the drawing.
Ellie is to be handed over to me as soon as you guys can get her here. 2, Gavin is released so that when Ellie's kid is born, it can have a father.
Ellen had faked a pregnancy, and there was talk that she used this as a tool to motivate Gavin and Russell to kill Aaron.
Oh, never mind. She wasn't actually pregnant. She faked a pregnancy. Wow.
Got locked up. She was trying to tell everybody she was pregnant. She was not pregnant.
She told you she was pregnant?
I've known for about 2 weeks now.
2 weeks? She told you? Okay. Did you tell Ellie you don't want to kill him?
I told her, like, I don't want to do this. And I told her that like, I didn't want to kill him.
So when these kind of things happen, Gavin, there's usually something that clicks, and you make a decision on what you're going to do.
The investigator starts establishing premeditation, which is required for a first-degree murder charge.
How long before you hit Dad with the bat has that conversation come up?
She's been talking about it for a long time. I tried to be civil with Aaron and stuff. I was like, should I offer to go and have a cup of coffee and discuss why he has beef with me?
So going back to you guys getting there around 2:30 in the morning, is it possible you got there earlier than 2:30?
I mean, we were at Union at like about 1:30.
And did you guys have to wait around for a little while?
We did. Ellie was like, just wait till he falls asleep and come in.
And where did you grab the bat from? Where did you grab the bat from before you walked into the front room?
No, I wanted to keep the bat for myself.
Okay.
Ironically, the bat that Gavin wanted to keep for himself, the bat that Gavin used to beat Aaron to death, was the bat that Aaron had on hand for protection. At best, Gavin used the murder weapon that was most convenient. At worst, Gavin took pleasure in this irony, claiming an ultimate power by using Aaron's sense of safety and security as a weapon against him, and walking out the door with it. Perhaps Gavin desired the bat for himself as a trophy.
So now you're walking from Ellie's room with the bat, and the plan for you is to walk out the front door.
That's what I wasn't, Ellie wanted me to kill him, but I didn't want to. I was planning on just walking straight out the front door.
Did you play along with Ellie and say, okay, I'll kill him?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
But then he woke up.
Did you tell Ellie how you were going to kill him?
No.
Did she ever mention, hey, use the bat?
Well, she said that if I wanted to, I could, and I was like, it's not that hard to punch someone in the throat.
Here, Gavin displays an out-of-place, boastful sense of pride over holding violence-related knowledge. This is a strong indicator of aggressive.
Different things like that with a bunch of guys we knew, and a couple different times he ended up punching somebody and I think brushing his nose at one point. And then a couple other times, yeah, sort of unprovoked, kind of fight somebody at our youth group. It was more of just a one or two thing, and then he would walk away. It's not like he was trying to kill somebody at that time, obviously.
An additional past friend described that Gavin displayed unusually aggressive behavior a week preceding the murder.
Yeah, so last time I'd seen him, we were just hanging out, like smoked a little bit, he wanted to like wrestle me, like he's like, I'm a black belt, like, we should fight. He's never really wanted to fight. So I didn't know if maybe he was like trying to get prepared for, this obviously is like afterthoughts, like, oh, that's weird, like, he wasn't very good at it. I don't think he was really a black belt, and it was just like, what?
Caden, who had attended South Medford High School with Gavin, explained that everyone in the school knew that he was scary and seemed dangerous when he shared his friend's experience.
He threatened one of my best friends, where he had actually sent a picture of a revolver to him, making the threat that he was going to, harm him. And then when they took it to the school didn't do anything about it.
We've watched Gavin cry and state repeatedly that he did not want to kill Aaron.
Yeah, where's
We've
Raisin?
also heard friends and family share stories depicting that he was quick to rage, often searching for an outlet for his aggression, whether it existed in tackle football, playful wrestling, or defending his friends. It leads us to a question of whether Aaron was another one of Gavin's outlets.
So she hands you the bat in the bedroom and tells you to go take that out. Okay, what were her exact words?
She said go out in the front room, take him out, and text me and let me know when it's done. And to me, I was like, okay, so I guess she wants me to kill him, but I don't want to kill him.
So you kick the bin and the dog barks. Where's the dog at?
Sleeping on the couch with him.
How do you know the dog was on the couch with him?
Like, 'cause I was, like, when we were in the house, like, I heard, like, one of the reasons...
He's used the word like periodically throughout the interrogation, but here, Gavin uses it almost back-to-back. This is a notable deviation from baseline and a strong indicator of general stress, most likely nervousness in the context of the topic.
Before leaving, because we heard him say, Sadie, move, and I was like, oh, okay. Because, like, he's probably disturbed a little bit.
Is it possible, Gavin, that you hit him while he was asleep?
I don't think so, no.
Is it possible, though?
It's possible he might have still been asleep.
This eliminates any possible self-defense theory his lawyers might have wanted to use at trial.
But I couldn't see anything. It was pitch black.
What makes you think that he woke up?
He was like, what the who are you?
But is that after you hit him once or before?
That was before.
Earlier in the interrogation, Gavin had clearly described that Aaron woke up and, in turn, Gavin acted on instinct. He is beginning to contradict himself, but it's not long before we hear the full truth.
Sleeping is lame.
That he might not have said that, and you just hit him while he was asleep on the couch.
I don't remember.
Are you 100% sure he said, who's that? Or could you just be telling me that, thinking that, trying to minimize this, making it look a little better? Because
I just hit him while he was asleep.
okay, so if you're going to tell the truth, let's tell the truth all the way, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Was he awake when you hit him? Yes or no? Okay.
I mean, I wasn't wanting to kill him. but then the dog started barking, and I knew where I was.
Let's get more tips coming through, guys. Mango, yell at them, okay? We need more tips. Yell at them, Mango.
It was after, like, the second swing, he was like, what the f***? And then...
No, you can't
Was he ever able to
sleep.
get up off the couch, or did...
No.
And be honest with us. Don't try to minimize things. How many times do you think you hit him?
I think I hit him about 6 times.
6 times?
Yeah, 5 or 6 times.
And were all those hits, where did you swing and hit him at?
Like, his chest and his head.
Okay. Ultimately, did he stop talking, stop moving?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When did you turn the light on?
Like, I stood there for a little bit. I don't know. It seemed like hours, and I was just like, what did I just do?
Okay.
Like, one time, we were at my mom's house. I told him to come inside. He wouldn't listen to me. So he went outside, and because my mom's in a wheelchair, pushed my mom down the driveway, and my mom fell back and cracked her head open.
Oh my gosh.
I know this might be tough, Gavin, but it's important to know. Can you stand right there for me? Right there. Stand up for me. And tell me that first time you swung the bat, tell me exactly how you swung the bat the first time.
The investigator gets Gavin to reenact the actual murder, which helps both verify the confession and to show his actions match the evidence. This makes a false confession claim harder to get around.
Couch is like right here.
Okay.
His head's right here. I'm standing right here, a little bit at an angle. And I went over the shoulder the first time, and then I started going up above my head.
And you, the first time you swung it, it was over the shoulder? And all the rest of the times you hit him, did you come up over the top?
Yeah.
You work at Del Taco, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you take some gloves from work?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wearing gloves, yeah.
Are they light blue gloves, latex gloves? And where did you put those on before you went out in the front room?
I had those on the entire time.
You want to kiss about this, Billy?
I mean, I was originally just planning on going in and
It's
out.
a blue blur.
trying
A
to
blur of blue.
Like no fingerprints or anything, so...
And these are the clothes that you were wearing? This that you have on?
No.
Where are the clothes?
I went home and I washed them.
Okay.
Are they in the washer?
Yeah.
Is that over an almond?
No, that was over at Bobby's.
And I have a note here, but who's Bobby?
Bobby Jackson's my best friend, and I'm his best friend. Been that way since like 6th grade, and Gavin kind of ended up joining us in that.
Kyle shared that he, Bobby, and Gavin were close, but no one else who he interviewed mentioned that this trio existed. Gavin embodied multiple personas. He didn't belong to any one group, and those he regularly spent time with seemed unaware of others he regularly spent time with. Interestingly, Kyle and Bobby in one location and Jacob in another claimed that Gavin was living with them at the time of the murder.
We were close. He was actually living with me and another guy and his mother when this all happened.
Gavin's friend Christopher Snow had also reported that Gavin was his roommate at the time. Christopher spoke to the press the day after the murder, explaining he was shocked, disbelieving that Gavin and Ellen were at odds with her father. The person who disagreed most with their relationship, according to Christopher, was Ellen's mother.
Does anybody know that you did this besides you and Ellie and RJ? Did you tell anybody else?
No.
Gavin may not have told anyone that he followed through with Aaron's murder, but he certainly talked about wanting to kill him. No one we or the police spoke with commented that they'd suspected he would go through with it, but many commented that he'd spoken of it. In fact, one individual commented that Gavin regularly told others that he could get away with killing someone.
An example would be he would say something along the lines of, I'd be able to get away with killing, it'd be easy, I know all these things, I'll watch all these documentaries. Like it was just something normal to say. Everything in his life seemed like it was a game to him.
Interestingly, Gavin displays nonverbal behaviors which indicate feelings of insecurity and discomfort. For example, he hunches his shoulders and crosses his arms tightly over his chest, making himself smaller and more contained. Essentially an upright, adapted version of the fetal position.
Yeah, Billy?
Before you leave the house, are you being 100% honest with me that Ellie was out in the car?
Because I'm a bit confused, because when did she come back in and get the dog?
She came back in after I hit her dad.
Note that Gavin commented, hit her dad, not killed her dad. This is distancing language, or language that places psychological space between the topic under discussion and the speaker. Either Gavin doesn't register the murder, or he cannot stand the thought that he killed someone.
Why do you think you hit him?
To me, in my eyes,
Yeah,
I
I'm
felt like
fucking
he was
serious, Billy.
an enemy. Like he was out to hurt me.
Okay.
So.
What do you think happens when you hit somebody in the head with an aluminum bat?
There's a lot of brain damage.
Do you think it could cause somebody to die?
Yeah.
This is to establish another element of first-degree murder, is that it must be committed with some sort of intent to kill the person. The murderer must therefore have attacked or harmed their victim with the purpose of ending their life.
Okay. Did you do anything to try to give him any kind of aid?
No.
And how does Ellie get in the house?
She just comes in through the front door.
Hold on. When she comes through the front door, what does she see?
She sees her dad laying on the couch.
What does she say?
But she didn't say anything. She just...
Did it shock her? Was she upset?
Not really, no.
Did you tell her what you did?
No.
Was it obvious?
It was obvious, yeah.
Okay.
This is to show that Ellen knew this was going to happen, and that she was a co-conspirator, so she can't later deny knowing Gavin was planning to kill him.
When Ellie comes in, is he making gurgling noises, or has he stopped making those noises?
He was still gurgling.
Gavin's body language is an extreme show of emotional distress. More genuine than the adapted version we witnessed previously, he is sitting in an upright fetal position, holding his knees to his chest. This is blatantly self-pacifying, indicating Gavin is far more affected by this.
Should I switch over to doing a gaming stream, guys? $10 more to make me end this stream and switch over to a gaming stream. But we can come back and finish this video later on. Maybe I'll do part 2. People better tip. Whoa, Red Eye. Is that the real Red Eye? Where have you been at, Red Eye? How many Shabiscues does it take you to play GTA? I want to see at least just $10 more in tips to get me to play a game. And whoever comes through with the $10 can pick the game I play. So I guess it's something I'm cool with playing. Come on, let's get it, guys. Tip. Tip, 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 tip. Yeah, I could do GTA, Dingo. I could do the GTA. Calm down, Dingo. Boom, boodle, boom, boom, boodle, boom, boom. Whoa, Timmy! Been wondering where you're at, Timmy. I want you to come on and hang out with me on this stream. Jack is ugly? You're talking about my cat, Andrew? No, he's actually like super cute. So $10, guys. That's all I'm asking to keep me streaming. But not on this channel. I'm gonna move over, I think, to my main channel, Shabisky, and stream whatever game. Someone make him play a game. I have something to listen to while figuring some stupid shit out. Yeah. Tell them, Mango. Boop, boop, doop. You just got back to me? Heck yeah, big balls. I thought you were already back. I thought you got back like yesterday or something. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, Timmy might want to do 7 days. Be some of the first people to tip for the Dank Dumpster Streamlabs, guys. Alright. Woo! Man. Shut up, Dingle. Your breath stinks. Okay. So, am I gonna play? GTA sounds cool. Yeah, GTA. 7 days to die or something. I don't know. Play all sorts of things. Good party. Yeah. I missed you, Timmy. I was crying when you weren't around, Timmy. I was so sad. I was a sad biscuit, Timmy. Interesting. 7 autos to theft. Whoa. That's a cool game. Becoming a hungry biscuit. I was getting hungry when I started watching the one dude eating McDonald's. How many fish did you catch, Timmy? Oh yeah, he caught some fish. I remember him showing that. What a cool guy. He's the best fisherman ever. Caught like 20 fish. Heck yeah. Let's see. I've been going here. Let's see. We've been going here for 2 hours and 25 minutes. I'm going to keep going until we hit 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I'm going to keep going another 5 minutes. If we can get $10 more in tips, I will do that. I'll stream. I'll do a gaming stream after this. I'll end the stream now and switch over to game and stream. A cool guy game and stream. Think you're so cool, Scooby-B? Just cause you have big nipples, huh? Is that what you think? Sea fishing? Ooh. Shut up, Dingo. Dingo is so pushy sometimes. Oh, dang. Yeah, I should have looked at how long this story was before I started this stream. I didn't realize I was starting such a long thing here. It's Dingle's fault. It was his idea for me to do it. Link here. No, that's not it. You heard COD is very good? Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had COD. How much is left? For what, Scooby-B? Talking about the we got 3 more minutes here. If we can get just $10 more in tips, I will keep streaming. We can do $10. Come on, guys. $10. Then I will, whoever does the $10 can pick whatever game I play, as long as it's something I'm cool with playing. I have lots of different games. Oh, how much of the video? We're an hour and 39 minutes in, and it's 3 hours and 27 minutes. So, like, an hour and 50 minutes still left. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, an hour and 50. Yep. So, surprisingly, a long video. A very long video.
Then his vocal tone and straightforwardness suggest.
So she comes in, gets the dog. Does she go outside or does she stay in the house with the dog?
Yes, Kabibi.
She just goes outside. RJ and I, we open the trunk and then we put him in there.
Okay, tell me about. Let's
It's
back up
like
and walk
Lord of
through
the
that
Rings
slowly.
long.
I'm sorry.
Individuals compress their lips under periods of great distress. Gavin's lips have disappeared.
And RJ came in to the front door, and RJ saw it. What did RJ say to you?
He was like, "Oh God, that's gross." And then I was like, "Okay, you grab him, his feet, and then we'll get him out to the trunk." And then we kind of drug it through the yard, and then we just like lift him up into the trunk.
So, you're in the house. Do you guys go back into the house after?
This is to establish a possible burglary charge. It also shows the callousness and lack of remorse after the fact for the crime.
Do you remember getting any money in the house?
Oh yeah, she went and took some money from her dad's wallet. Yeah.
How much cash did she get?
She said it was like $40.
From his wallet?
Yeah.
So he obviously didn't have his wallet on him.
Yeah.
Ellen can argue that she planned this to protect her sisters, and she can argue that he abused her, but few words, if any, explain why she would possess any moral justification to steal from her recently murdered father.
What was he wearing on the couch when you turned the light on?
He was wearing a black Raider.
Is Billy Boy Blue here? Trying to think here. Yeah, Billy Boy Blue, are you here?
Her shirt and a pair of black shorts.
Okay. When did she first bring up that she wanted her dad dead?
Like after he slapped her. And
How long
then,
ago? How long ago was that?
Like, this was a week before she texted me about the...
This shows that this specific incident of abuse was not the motive for the murder, at least not for Ellen. A prosecutor might submit to a jury that the likely actual motive for the killing of her father was him not letting his minor daughter and Gavin date.
Okay. And then once, as that conversation developed, did you ever come to what are we going to do with him afterwards?
I mean, RJ was like trying to tell me I have a friend, we can go up, leave the car there, he can tear the car apart, that way there's no car left.
I'm very, good at convincing people.
So when do you go to Bobby's house?
Bobby's, I stopped by, I just, like swapped clothes and I left again, no one was awake.
So, and then you end up over on Almond Street. Okay.
Investigators later learned that Gavin had led them astray, hoping they would stop by Bobby's house so his friends would know.
Alright. You know what, we got a bunch of tips today, so I guess I'm just going to do it anyways. I'm going to move over to the main channel, the Shabisky channel. So, I'm going to end this stream, and I'll be going live over there in just a couple minutes, okay? Alright, cutie pies. You guys excited?